guys, Nick from Arch City Poker and ArchCityPLO.com. Today's vlog, we're going to talk about how to play against a pro. So, obviously an interesting topic since, I am a pro. I'm helping you guys figure out how to play against players like me, or just against like good players, good thinking players, tough players, if you will. Let's start with pre-flop. You need to have a sound pre-flop game, first of all. If you don't, the pro is always going to have the advantage against you post-flop, because they're going to be able to outplay you on a lot of different textures. You're going to want to play in position for the most part. That goes with really any form of poker. But pre-flop, make sure you don't have something like a limping range and then a raising range, because that's going to be very transparent. A pro is going to be able to take advantage of that information. Focus on only opening for a raise. Focus on cold calling only with a stronger range and not really calling that often. But just play sound pre-flop overall. We've talked about this on this channel many times before. Now, post-flop is where the pros are going to make their money and where they're going to try to take advantage of you. And you need to simply balance your play. Now, that's a little easier said than done when you don't have maybe a strong theoretical background, or at least knowledge of what's supposed to be happening in theory, I guess. But, to simplify it, you need to mix up your game. So, instead of when check two, always betting top pair plus, mix in some checkbacks with some top pair hands. If you don't need as much protection, maybe even check back like some sets or some two pairs. If you're a little bit more of an aggressive player, don't always raise or bet with all your draws. Sometimes mix in some calls, some checkbacks. You need to keep the pros a little bit off balance. You don't want them to always have such transparent information at their disposal. You also need to understand that they're going to take certain types of information, and then they're going to plan their lines based off of that. So, for example, a good one is that if they see a player just check calling on the flop and turn on a dynamic texture, or let's just say like on the flop, they're going to plan to barrel the turn at a very high frequency, because they're going to think that you are very capped, which you usually are. They're going to think you just have a weaker like one pair hand or some kind of draw. They're very often going to try to implement a lot of pressure and attack your weaker range. That's why it's important that you, again, adhere to some balance, that you implement some balance, and that you mix in some stronger hands into your check calling range, for example. Now, on the flip side of that, pros are in like lower stakes games. They're going to probably overfold to a lot of barrels. They're going to think that players will c-bet, so they'll plan to float, they'll peel lightly. But when they face a turn barrel, they tend to give a little bit more credit, which they probably should. They're going to overfold a little bit in that spot. They're going to definitely overfold to a triple barrel, to a river barrel. You need to make sure that you're balancing your range in that aspect too. So when you go to value bet hands across multiple streets, you need to make sure that you mix in some bluffs as well. Simply put, you got to mix up your game. You got to implement some balance against these types of players. Otherwise, you're going to be too transparent, and that's when they're going to take advantage of you. So, shorter vlog as far as this topic's concerned, but if you have any further questions, let me know in the comment section. If I need to clarify anything, I will. Click on the link to ArchCityPLO.com. There's content still being loaded on there daily. I've got no limit content, PLO content that can help your games out. But hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.